Let me ask you something, and let it land softly tonight. When you're right on the edge of something you've wanted one step away one night before, what do you do with that in between? Do you let yourself feel it, savor the almost? Or do you, like most of us, rush straight through it, bracing, planning, already worrying about whether the thing will live up to the wanting? Tonight is exactly that kind of edge. The moon is almost completely full now, July 28th, 2026, glowing at nearly 99%, riding through Leo one single night before she reaches her full moon. She is on the eve of her peak, and there's a temptation on a night like this to treat it as nothing, just a waiting room for tomorrow's main event. But the night before full has its own quiet work, and if you rush it, you often arrive at the peak too braced to actually feel it. So tonight we slow down on purpose. This is your moon letter for the night before full. Let's open it. Look up tonight, and she's a breath away from whole, a waxing gibbous, so nearly full that most people glancing up would call her the full moon already. Just the faintest shaving of shadow remains on one edge, the last little sliver she hasn't filled. And there's something worth noticing in how she spends this final night. She doesn't race to fill that last sliver. She doesn't strain or rush the final 1%. She simply keeps rising at the same steady pace she's kept the whole cycle, completely unbothered that she isn't quite full yet, in no hurry to skip to tomorrow. She is entirely present in her almost. And that's the quiet teaching on the eve of full. The night before completion is not a lesser night, a mere prelude to be endured until the real thing arrives. It is its own moment, with its own particular beauty, the charged, expectant hush right before fullness. The moon doesn't throw this night away wishing it were tomorrow. She lets it be exactly what it is, the last night of becoming before the night of being whole. The energy tonight is anticipation, held in the warm hands of Leo, and the distinction the sky is drawing is between two very different ways to meet a peak. One is performance, treating tomorrow's full moon like a stage you have to be impressive on, a deadline you have to produce something for, a test of whether you've manifested enough this cycle. That's the anxious version, and Leo's shadow knows it well, the fear that you'll reach the spotlight and not be enough. But Leo's mature energy offers the other way, readiness, not performance. The full moon isn't a performance review. It's a homecoming. And the night before is for getting ready in the truest sense, not by frantically doing more, but by softening, by clearing space, by deciding how you want to be when you arrive at your own fullness. Think of the difference between cramming anxiously the night before something important and instead resting well, so you can show up present and open. Tonight, the Leo moon invites the second one. You don't prepare for fullness by striving harder. You prepare by getting quiet enough to actually receive it. In human design, the sun is in gate 31, the gate of influence, and tonight it's the fourth line, which changes the whole texture of the energy. Because the fourth line is the line of closeness, of relationship, of influence that moves through trust rather than through the crowd. Where other lines broadcast widely, the fourth line works intimately. Its power is in the people it's actually close to. And on the eve of a Leo full moon, that's a beautiful, grounding reminder. Because it's easy to imagine that being full, being seen, being at your peak, means being seen by everyone, a big, public, performed fullness. The fourth line quietly corrects that. Your fullness doesn't have to be broadcast to matter. It can be witnessed by a few, by the ones close to you, by one trusted person across a table. Tonight, as you get ready to be full, you don't have to prepare to be seen by the world. You only have to be willing to be seen fully and truly by the handful of people who are actually near. That's not a smaller fullness. It's often the realest kind there is. So let's be clear about what the full moon actually asks of us, because most of us carry a slightly anxious, slightly wrong idea of it, and the eve is the perfect time to correct it. There's a whole culture around full moons now. Charge your crystals, manifest your desires, Release what no longer serves you. Do the ritual. Seize the peak energy. And none of that is bad, exactly. But underneath a lot of it is a quiet pressure, the sense that the full moon is a deadline, a performance, a cosmic productivity window you'd better make the most of, or you've wasted it. And that pressure is the opposite of what a peak is for. Here's what the full moon actually asks. First, not a frenzy of doing, but a moment of full presence. The peak of the cycle is an invitation to stop and actually be here, fully lit, rather than to add one more task. Second, not proof that you're complete, but permission to be seen whole. The full moon doesn't test whether you've earned fullness. It simply shines completely and invites you to let yourself be as visible and whole as you already are. And third, not manifesting harder, but receiving what has already grown. So much of a cycle is quiet growth we don't notice. And the full moon is the moment that growth becomes visible, the harvest you get to actually see and take in. So the full moon isn't asking you to produce, prove, or perform. It's asking you to arrive, present, visible, and willing to receive. And the night before is for getting soft enough to do exactly that. So if the full moon is really just asking us to arrive and receive, why do so many of us quietly brace against it? Why does the peak of anything, a moon, an achievement, a long-awaited moment, so often make us tense rather than glad? A few honest reasons. The first is that fullness means visibility, and we've spent a lifetime learning that being fully seen is dangerous. At the peak, there's nowhere to hide. You're completely lit. And some old part of us would rather stay in the safe half-light of almost than risk the exposure of fully. The second reason is the fear of the letdown. We've all felt it, the strange flatness that can follow a long-awaited peak. Is this it? And to protect ourselves from that possible disappointment, we preemptively hold back, refusing to fully feel the good things so it can't hurt us as much if it deflates. We brace against the peak to soften a fall that hasn't even happened. And the third reason is subtle but powerful. Completion asks us to stop striving, and striving is where many of us feel safest. As long as we're reaching, working, becoming, we have a role, a motion, a purpose. But arriving, actually being full, actually being here, asks us to put the striving down for a moment and just be, and that stillness can feel almost unbearable to a nervous system built on effort. So we rush past the peak, straight into the next goal, because standing still in our own fullness is harder than chasing the next thing. Naming all this matters because tonight on the eve, you get to notice the bracing before it robs you of the peak. You can feel the old urge to armor up, to stay small, to skip ahead, and gently decline it. So how do you actually get ready for the full moon tonight in a way that softens the bracing instead of feeding it? 3 gentle moves, and notice that none of them is do more. First, slow down and let the eve be its own night. Resist the urge to treat tonight as a mere countdown to tomorrow. Tonight is real. Step outside, look at the almost full moon, and just be with her for a minute without rushing to the peak. The eve is not a waiting room. It's the last, tender night of becoming, and it's worth actually being in. Second, name what has quietly grown full in you this cycle. Not what you failed to finish, what has actually ripened. Maybe a fear that's smaller now, a boundary that finally holds, a kindness toward yourself that's become more natural, a relationship that deepened. The full moon is a harvest, and you can't take in a harvest you never noticed growing, so name it tonight, so tomorrow you have something real to receive. And third, decide in advance how you want to meet the peak. Choose presence over performance. Choose to arrive tomorrow soft and open rather than braced and busy. You might even clear a little literal space, an hour tomorrow evening with no plans, so the full moon has somewhere to land in your actual life. That's the whole preparation. Not a frantic ritual, not a manifestation checklist. Just slowing down, noticing what grew, and deciding to be present when it comes to full light. Here is your ritual for the night before full, and it's the gentlest one, because tonight the work is to soften, not to strive. When the evening settles, step outside and find her. The almost full moon, 99% lit, luminous and calm on the eve of her peak. Don't do anything to her or with her at first. Just be with her for a minute, the way you'd sit quietly beside someone you love the night before a big day. Let the almost be enough. Then, softly, name one thing that has grown full in you this cycle. One real way you are more whole, more healed, more yourself than you were 2 weeks ago at the new moon. Say it out loud to the near full moon, like a small confession of progress. Next, set one simple intention for tomorrow, not a manifestation, not a goal, just this. I will meet the full moon present, not performing. I will let myself be seen and let myself receive. And finally, take one slow, deliberate breath, all the way in and all the way out, as if you're practicing for tomorrow, practicing being here, full and unhurried, with nothing to prove. That's the ritual. You're not earning the full moon tonight. You're just getting soft enough to let it find you ready. So, let this be the letter you keep from tonight. You don't have to earn the full moon. You only have to let it find you ready. The moon on the eve of full doesn't rush to fill her final sliver or throw this night away wishing it were tomorrow. She stays present in her almost, unhurried, whole enough. The full moon was never a deadline, a performance, or a test of whether you manifested enough. It asks only that you arrive, present instead of frantic, visible instead of hidden, open to receive what has quietly grown full in you this whole cycle. So tonight, don't brace. Don't rush past the eve into the peak. Slow down, name what ripened, and decide to meet tomorrow soft and here. The fullness is already coming. Your only task is to be ready to feel it. Thank you for slowing down on the eve tonight instead of rushing past it. A new letter from the sky arrives every single day, and tomorrow the moon reaches her full peak in Leo, the brightest night of the cycle. So we'll talk about what it means to let yourself be fully, completely seen. Until then, stay present in the almost and walk gently.